This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
Hey, and welcome back to the show. We're talking with our in-house sleep expert, Farouk Manji from SleepShop. They have locations throughout the Lower Mainland, and the newest baby being born is just in North Vancouver on Marine Drive. So Marine Drive and on what cross street?
It's very close to Pemberton.
Okay.
So we're just east of Pemberton, so
Okay.
1171 Marine Drive.
Right. All right, good. Now, I'll sort of talk a little bit about my experience with SleepShop, and then my son wanted a new bed, and we went through the process of doing the comfort test and all that kind of stuff. So years ago, I'm guessing 8 years ago, maybe more, I am fussy about my bed, and I bought the wrong bed. I'm going to flat up admit it. I went too hard, too firm. And you find that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So people come in, and firm's got to be better for my back.
Yes.
And then I got the bed, and I've dislocated my shoulder a couple of times. So sleeping on that side is never comfortable. And when it's too firm, I just can't sleep. So I threw in the towel, and I said, I gave the bed away to a neighbor who needed another bed for their spare bedroom. So I said, here you go, free bed. And then I went down to this store on Broadway, and I'm in talking to the nice lady that was there and trying all the different beds. But before I went, I had been doing searches for the most comfortable beds. And I kept getting this latex beds. So I went down to this store on Broadway, and I spoke to the lady, and I said, do you have any latex beds? And she says, here's this bed and that bed. And memory foam is also very popular. And I ended up getting this 100% latex bed that I've had now for 10 years, and it's been a dream. Pardon the pun. So as we started doing the show, I don't know, about a year ago now, Farouk,
Yes.
I said, where is your store on Broadway? And he says, it's at Oak. I said, is it on the on the south side? Yes. I said, that's where I bought my bed, SleepShop. So we just finally put those pieces together all these years later. So it's great that I'm hosting this show with you because I sleep on one of your products every night, and it's been great.
Awesome.
So it's not an inexpensive bed, but it's sort of at your higher end, right?
Yeah, that's just because of the way latex made and the properties of latex, how it's manufactured. It's definitely not the cheapest, but from all our accounts, from all our experience and the number of years, which is now 15 plus years with one manufacturer called Natura, which is a Canadian-made latex manufacturer based out of Ontario, probably the fewest to little comfort and warranty issues at all.
But now the latex has spread through the industry. So now you can get those latex elements in non-100% latex beds,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
that's the trend.
Yes, yeah. And they're, now as opposed to sleeping on all latex, you can get hybrid latex mattresses where it'll incorporate some latex on top of traditional foam. And then you'll have other hybrids which will just have latex on a coil. And, you don't have that traditional looking mattress. It looks like an all foam product, but it's actually got coil as your base and then latex on top.
And that helps bring the cost down.
It does. It helps bring the cost down. It also will help those customers, those individuals that just can't find sleeping on an all foam type mattress, something they'll be comfortable on.
Mm-hmm.
So you get this somewhat traditional support feel of a coil bed, but you're sleeping right on the latex. And the other thing that people should know is people think, well, I've got an allergy to latex.
Right.
And, it's whether it's latex gloves or whatever it is. Latex that's used in mattresses is very different. It's non-synthetic.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that latex, DuPont makes a synthetic one, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what the ones you have are not like that.
They're not like that. There are different processes to make latex. There's the Talalay process. There's the Dunlop process. But the key in all of that is there is a protein that's extracted out of the latex when the actual sap from the tree that's used to make latex is taken out. And then it's completely hypoallergenic. So that's something that people don't know, and we always educate them on.
The other thing is when latex is poured and made, it looks like a sort of like a classic sponge or Swiss cheese. It's got holes in it.
That's right.
And that also aids in regulating temperature, which is something that people who have memory foam beds fight against sometimes, is that it can feel hot, right?
Yes.
So the latex gives you a bit of thermal regulation.
Yeah, and it's actually those holes are a part of the baking and curating process. They actually weren't put in there to make it breathable.
Oh, that's just a benefit.
It is a benefit, sort of. But latex in general is just naturally breathable.
Okay.
What those holes are, they're long needles that are poured where the stuff is baked inside. So that's what happens when the form is made.
Okay, so that was years ago. We got this bed; it's still working great. But I was at your shop with my son, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's time for something new. And you have the new latex line from Edmonton. What's the name of the company again? Sprout, that's right.
Yes.
And their beds are just as natural.
They're all natural. So their latex is all organic. So the latex that's manufactured comes from rubber trees that are organically grown. So they're on an organic farm. There's no pesticides used. There's no chemicals used. The wool is all pure, so they use pure wool, pure cotton, and pure silk in their mattress. And they're even the cover that's used is 100% organic cotton. So the manufacturer says to us when they're training, you could eat our mattress. It's that pure.
You could digest it, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we do carry the Sprout line as well.
Back to the trees that make the gum for the latex. Is it like the sugar bush where they tap them like they do to make maple syrup? So are they just continually producing?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how it works?
So that's pretty much, it comes from the rubber tree.
Right.
And that's exactly it. They'll tap it in, the sap will pour in, they'll collect it in buckets, really. Yeah. And use that to create your base.
Just like maple syrup.
Pretty much.
Yeah, similar kind of thing. Interesting. Okay. So we went to the Richmond location with my son. He's turning 12 later this month. And his brother, about a year ago, was making all these noises. I don't like my bed. I want a big bed. So we got a bigger bed. So now it's Charlie's turn to get the bigger bed. And we went in, and you weren't there initially, but the one fellow that was there, he was very knowledgeable about. He said, "How old are you?" And my son is tall for his age, and he says, "Well, you're growing, so you want good support and all this kind of stuff." So we started doing the comfort test, and he took us around to different kinds of beds, and he basically lay there and decided on his own what he thought was comfortable. And is that really the best way to do it?
It is. I mean, outside of once, as you know, they'll take you through this comfort test because that's a personal preference. I mean, we can't tell you what your body should be sleeping on in terms of the feel. I mean, some people prefer a firmer feel. Some people like that, in some hotels you get that nice cushy feel. It's important that you find a bed that's got a good balance between comfort and the amount of support it gives. So that's really where we will kind of guide and steer the initial direction. And once you've picked the right comfort that you like for your body, we'll then show you other mattresses, other brands, and other technologies that are available in the feel you like.
Well, what I found interesting was also trying different pillows as you went along, because the bed feels different depending on what the pillow you have. And then he found a pillow he liked, so that's the one he carried around to all of the different beds to try.
Yeah.
And the fellow that was there was just like, "Don't worry, just take your time, put your feet on." Of course, kids are told, get your feet off the furniture, right? So he's on the bed and he's got his feet on there, and it's okay, and take your time and try it out. And so we tried Spring Air, which is a local company, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then what's the
Kingsdown.
Kingsdown was the one he liked. Yeah. Now, it was between two beds, and what your associate mentioned is this one has X number of coils and this one has more, right? So
yes.
Is that what it comes down to, is then the content of the bed that you can't see on the outside?
That's right. And, people, we try to educate enough that coils or coil counts are important, but they're not everything. but Kingsdown does. It's locally manufactured. Actually, there are factories in Burnaby.
Okay.
They are a manufacturer that really prides itself on, because people don't really know a lot about Kingsdown, but they are, they're across North America.
Okay.
They're a large company. The Canadian division is very separate from the U.S. in the sense that all their Canadian product is made in Canada. They're using raw materials from Canada, so essentially everything is really locally or Canadian made. They have higher coil counts generally than most manufacturers. So, the one your son bought.
I bought it.
Oh, you bought it? Yeah, well, it's true. He didn't pull out his credit card. It was Dad's credit card.
Yeah.
In the price range, we were, comparing to other brands and manufacturers, the coil counts around 800, 850, where this one was over 1,000 in that same area. And then we talked about Salient, if you remember.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, let me take a break, and we'll get into that because it's quite interesting what's woven into this mattress. And we'll talk about my experience buying a bed at SleepShop, and I'll give you the results from Charlie and what he thinks about it next on CL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.